I'm out here this morning and starting to put in the compost in and around these tomato plants and various plants we've got. These are pea plants, and there's supposed to be a couple of eggplant in here. They're not doing very well, it doesn't seem, and they told me these are pea plants, but they look more like lettuce to me. I'm not sure what that is. We're going to let them grow. They're growing where we planted them, so that is the right stuff. At least what we planted, and they had told me that that's what that was pea plants. But so far I'm not seeing that, or cucumbers. I think that actually was what they told me, cucumbers. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't look much like it to me, but we'll see what happens. Starting to put in the compost in and around them, and making sure I don't cover the plants. There's a couple of them that haven't come up, but I've left kind of a hole in there for spacing. This one over here did come up, and then it's kind of gone away again, so I don't know what we're going to do there. But we've got a stick for spacing, and I know these are very tight spacing, but we don't have very much room to plant stuff, so we're planting very jungle-like here, and hoping everything's going to have enough space. We try to go with the square foot method, but that just doesn't really fit for our purpose here. We need a lot of food. We got 100 and something kids that we feed every day, and we don't have much garden space. So we're hoping that these tomatoes, now these are tomatoes that are supposedly 2 pounds a piece. These are supposed to be up to 4 pounds a piece, and these are supposed to be world record size. So whatever that means. I bought some seeds in the US, brought them to Ecuador, and they seem to be growing. These were planted on October the 16th into egg carton stuff with a little bit of compost in there, and they sprouted, but it took a long time for them to germinate and come up, and it was like I don't know, the first part of December when we planted them into the garden here. And unfortunately we used that same bad soil that we've had, the bad fertilizer that we bought from a guy that says he's supposed to be really great stuff, and it's really not been very good. It's burned the various plants and limited their growth, and I don't know, I've not been very happy with it at all. But we just haven't had enough of our own fertilizer. Now we do have. We've just finished another round of organic stuff. We just finished another round of organic fertilizer, and we're going to be doing worm stuff in next round. Everything's going to be going to the worms after this, and we're just using this for mulch right now and leaving a little bit of the organic in it, and then I'm filtering it here on top of the wheelbarrow as I go, and dropping a lot down below, and that'll become the worm food. And we'll be using this organic stuff for the worms from this point forward, and then we'll have the worm castings that we'll use, and probably we won't use this anymore except just for mulch if we get any more of this. This is very woody because we had a lot of roses and stuff in here, and I hope we don't get that in our compost ever again. It's been a nightmare to clean out, and I still got lots of these rather large sticks that I don't like. So anyway, I wanted to show a little bit about how I'm putting these in, trying to put them up as close to the plants as possible without covering them over. And I got a little bit more to put in around on this one, but I'm putting in the bulk right now, and then I'll come back and put in close to the plants and get all the compost. And the way I'm doing that, this is straight out of the compost pile, just so you know where it is. This is some screen that we've liked a lot. It's not square. I don't know what it's standardized for, and it does rust a little bit, so I don't like that part about it. But we haven't been seeing any problems with like rusting out, and we've used this now for 6 months. I mean, we've been in this property about 6 months, so we've been using this as we've been making our compost, which I guess really hasn't even been all that long. And anyway, we got a few rocks, and try to get those out of here as I'm going through. But I just take this unfiltered, straight out of the compost pile stuff, and I just rake it over there. Here's another little, oh look, there's a fun toy. I'm going to make a video about stuff I find in the compost pile. That's going to go onto that list, and I found some interesting things. That's one of the more interesting ones. Anyway, I just take this stuff and just kind of scratch it around on there a little bit. I don't want to lose all of the good material in there, but then I take the handful of that, and there's a spot I can just put it in right there. Looks like there's a little something, a little weed growing. I probably should have pulled that first, but anyway, just put it in there like that and just cover over. And you cover this in 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. I may eventually cover it up to the top of the concrete blocks, but I want the plants to get just a little bit bigger, so we'll probably come back and keep putting more and more and more in there. Anyway, that's what that is. Once I get this in, I'll water it in, and off we go. Hopefully this will grow better. We're sure looking forward to all the tomatoes that this promises to have. I've got these little spoons here. Show you how we mark that. Okay, that's called a super stake. We didn't have any nice fancy things, so we just used some plastic spoons. It's supposed to be ready in 80 days, and they were planted originally on I don't know what she put 1, 2 on there, because it should have been 10, and it should have been 18. Well, that was planted on the 16th of October. I know that. One of these I wrote, heirlooms, 2 to 4 pounds, 80 days. Oh, here we go. She wrote it correctly here. 16, 10, 18. This is in Ecuador, and they write the date before the month, so that's why that's in that direction. For anybody in the US that says, hey, that's backwards, it's not for Ecuador and most of the world, in fact. So anyway, we just wrote those on here. I had my little one of the students helping me to write that, so she never done this before, and so that was a good learning experience for them. I'll finish this compost, water it in, and hopefully soon we're going to start seeing some tomatoes. Looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Click the like button as well. Those always help, and we do appreciate it. Thanks much.